Hello, everyone, and welcome to this great event on this lovely Tuesday, our first event of the year. We are super excited to have you all join us today, and we are going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to bring Anthony to the stage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to 2025. And thank you, Michelle, for that. We're thrilled to have everybody here today, as always, for this incredible event. We have a great team leading this initiative. And for those of you who are new to NJBIA, we are one of the nation's largest statewide business organizations here in New Jersey. We represent over 1/4 of all New Jersey employees. And we also work with companies, to help create jobs and grow within our state of New Jersey. We do offer customer development opportunities with visibility through our magazine, our podcast, our television show that takes place on News Channel 12, our magazine ads, and of course, money-saving discounts on other things that you might need in your organization, such as payroll, healthcare, training, 401k solutions, and 24-hour HR support provided to us by Mineral. I'm Anthony Marino, one of the executives here at NJBIA. I will put my information in the chat. Also, just to let you know of some upcoming events that we have here at NJBIA. We have our Cannabis Trends Compliance Growth and HR event taking place on January 29th at Cooper's Riverview down in Trenton. This will be a half-day event. It'll be a great opportunity to, explore the evolving cannabis industry. Along with that, we have kicked off this year our leadership training series. This will consist of 11 virtual programs that are about 90 minutes long, and they'll be held each Monday every month from January through December, with taking off in July. Participants can register for either one class or for the entire program. It really depends. We made this easy to get on and look at those topics that make sense to you. And again, these are classes for individuals who are looking to refine and expand their skills. The program is designed to delve deeper into advanced concepts, but offer more interactive sessions, ask questions. We want people to be involved. And again, it's along with, learning opportunities featuring insights from experts in the industry. And the first one actually kicks off, and Cal Thomas from Sandler Training is the expert that will be kicking off our series on January 21st. I will put all this information in the chat. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, thank you so much. We're looking forward to a great opportunity. And Michelle, now back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anthony. We appreciate it. To get started, I am Michelle Hagan, president and partner of C3 Workplace. For nearly 30 years, we've been helping companies accelerate growth by providing support and advisory services around operations, business development, and finance. We allow growing teams and business owners to work smarter by focusing on which truly drives the business forward. Our clients know that by bringing us in to build systems that are efficient, connected, and executable by us or them, they're laying a foundation for a company that will run and grow without them involved in every little detail. So if you want to build a self-scaling business, let's talk. So before we start, we're going to go over some housekeeping. We are recording this, so you do not have to go crazy taking notes. We will ask you if you have any questions to drop any of your questions into the Q&A rather than the chat. We're going to use the chat to comment and introduce ourselves and engage. We always like engagements, and please feel free to introduce yourselves. Use that for the chat, and then any questions in the Q&A. Now, unfortunately, this is James, sorry, James, who's doing the program today, had a conflict and could not be here for our typical live Q&A. However, he will be reaching out to all of you, whoever has questions. So if you have questions, you can put it in the Q&A, or you can also email me directly, and I will put my email in the chat as well. But we will make sure that all of your questions get answered. Also, We want to encourage you to register for our February Business Growth Roundtable, where we will welcome Cal Thomas and our very own fabulous Rachel Durkin to help us bridge the gap between marketing and sales. And again, I will drop that link in the chat as well. So we want to get you registered for that event. And next, Vicky, I'm going to bring Vicky to the stage, and she's going to introduce our sponsors.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Michelle. It is great to see you, and Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, I'm one of those people who says it all month long. I feel it's very hopeful. But what a great way to kick off 2025. I'm Vicki Hart, Director of Client Engagement at Paradigm Marketing and Design, and we are an award-winning strategic agency, and we are recognized for our excellence in assisting businesses with a complex sale and advancing the efficiency of sales teams. How do we achieve such remarkable results? It's by leveraging websites as powerful marketing tools, implementing strategic thinking to drive conversions, and leveraging data and marketing automation to make informed decisions. If you're seeking to expand and elevate your business or inject purpose into your lead gen efforts, let's connect and have a meaningful conversation about how we can help you achieve your goals. Now, I talk about this often as I'm a big networker and connector. We cannot do this without our friends and collaborators. So we would like to bring to the spotlight Susie McLean from Summit Place Financial. Summit, it has been a wonderful sponsor of the Business Growth Roundtable. Summit Place Financial Advisors offers focused, individualized attention, serving a select group of highly successful people like you who have outgrown mass market institutions. Success often brings complex investment, tax, and estate planning strategies. Summit Place offers experienced, personalized, and disciplined guidance to help achieve your financial goals and help simplify your wealth opportunistically. They collaborate with trusted professionals to provide a holistic, expert approach to your financial journey. So thank you so much, Summit. And we'd also like to recognize our supporting sponsor, Mark Shore of Atlas Consulting Services, Employee Benefits Consultant. Atlas Consulting Services is a full-service insurance brokerage with specialized expertise in sophisticated and multifaceted employee benefits programs, including health, dental, vision, life, disability, retirement, and more. ACS handles all aspects of employer-sponsored benefits, from plan implementation to employee communication and enrollment, to claims resolutions and regulatory monitoring of state and federal compliance laws. They are a trusted partner of many of the region's most prestigious companies, from law firms and hedge funds, as well as small and large businesses from Main Street to Wall Street. I know Mark personally, and I can tell you, I know he works very hard for his clients. So thank you so much to our sponsors. And now we're going to get our party started. What a great way to kick off 2025 is to talk about annual planning, new heights in the new year. James Wisdom is a professional EOS implementer at EOS Worldwide. James Wisdom helps entrepreneurs, owners, CEOs, and their leadership teams tackle business challenges to achieve long-term success. A seasoned expert with over 25 years in business development and strategy with both entrepreneurial ventures and global brands, James brings a unique perspective that combines deep industry knowledge with practical solutions to unlock personal and professional success, foster innovation, and drive growth. As an award-winning leader and professional EOS implementer, James offers a tailored approach that ensures each business he works with is equipped to meet their specific challenges and optimize their operations for maximum efficiency and profitability. My goodness, that was a mouthful, but that doesn't even scratch at the surface about what we're going to experience. I did have a sneak peek, and I think we're in for something really special today. So, Michelle, take it away.
Thank you, Vicky. That was a lot of information. Great. I'm glad you got that and not me. Great job. Thank you. Okay. And again, just really quickly as a reminder, if you have any questions, please drop them into the Q&A, and I will also drop my email address in there as well. You can email me so we can get those answered for you. And without further ado, we are going to get started.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Annual Planning, New Heights in the New Year. Now, as we get started and things get started up, what I want you to do is, those of you that are already here, write down a single sentence answering the question, what do you want from your business? Okay, just jot it down on a piece of paper. Now, obviously, you can't make a map to a destination if you don't know the destination. Now, what you want from your business is your destination. It's your desired destination. You're going to need it for this session today. Okay. If you don't know it, that's okay. No time like the present to figure it out. Maybe it's revenue, clients, community, or philanthropic impact, a number of employees, a number of locations, completed projects. All we want is a sentence of what you want from your business. A lot of my clients, they just write down a revenue number. This is our target. Okay. But be careful what you wish for. You'll probably get it. Okay, one more time, just one sentence. What do I want from my business? No more than 7 words. Now, before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank Donna and the NJBIA for hosting this event. I think Donna is fantastic, and I'm so glad to be able to contribute to the wonderful members of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Thank you for giving me your time today. And welcome. I really appreciate you coming to the call. I realize you could be spending your time in so many different ways, and you chose to be here, so thank you. I promise I'll do my best to make it valuable for you today. My name is James Wisdom. Yes, that's the name I was born with. I'm a professional EOS implementer. I've helped leaders with dozens of growing companies get more of what they want from their businesses. Today, I'm going to help you create a very streamlined annual plan for your business, a clear, actionable plan that you can take back into your business and begin implementing next week, and things are going to get better. Now, it's a simple but ambitious goal to get done in about the next hour, but we won't be successful without you partnering with me. I really need you to engage and actively participate in the work that we're going to do together. If you don't have an actionable annual plan for your business right now, the next hour will change the destiny of your business and your life for the better, but only if you participate, right? If you came here to hear a lecture and just listen to me yammer on for the next hour, you're going to be sorely disappointed. You won't get anything out of it. Okay, so please participate. Do what I'm asking you to do. And what I'm asking you to do right now is to write down your goal for your business. What's your big goal? Okay. Now, the reason why we're here today is really because there's a challenge. There's a challenge that I'm trying to solve. Okay, that's the first part. Is I'm going to provide some context to this challenge. In the second part of our session today, I'll show you the tools and help each one of you create a simple, clear annual plan for the business. And in the third part, you'll have an opportunity to hear examples and have some discussion. Okay, so if you have any questions along the way, I'm available. I'm easily found on LinkedIn. Feel free to ping me, ask me any questions that you've got. Okay, here we go. Now, I help entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurial companies, and I talk to a lot of entrepreneurial leaders. Okay, I've noticed recently that most of the leaders I'm talking to are having trouble scaling and growing, and that leaders of those companies are frustrated. Okay, they're hitting the ceiling. They've got people problems. They talk to me about how the first couple of years was almost too easy. Then all of a sudden they hit a ceiling, get stuck, and just can't really figure out a way to break through that ceiling. Like, they're trying lots of different things, but nothing really sticks. That's normal. That's commonplace. Almost everybody I talk to experiences that. I personally have been there many times with my own business. It's natural. Now, I believe that I can help with that frustration a little bit with this session. What we're going to be doing is using the 8 questions in the EOS Vision Traction Organizer to establish your annual plan. Now, truth be told, we only have an hour. So I'm going to cover just the essentials with you today, help you get moving in the right direction, help you get started. And I'm going to offer myself up for questions after the session, as I just mentioned. So our purpose today is to help you define a simple, crystal clear annual plan so you can get everyone in your organization 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. Okay? I hope that sounds good. Now, for anyone who's just joined in the last few minutes, please just jot down on a piece of paper, your iPad, wherever you like to write, but you got to write it down. The answer to the question, what do you want from your business? Just jot it down, okay? Get it out of your brain, right? A lot of people say, oh, I know what I want, but you got to write it down, right? That way it's externalized. It's something that's real. It's in the world, right? Keep it brief, no more than one sentence, ideally, and just jot those things down, okay? Now, a little context, a little bit about EOS, real quick, and a little bit about me, so you know I'm not just here practicing on you, okay? As an EOS implementer, I help people get what they want from their businesses, usually profit and freedom, by providing a complete system of simple, proven tools to help do three things that we call vision, traction, and healthy. Vision just means getting everyone 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. Traction means instilling the discipline and accountability throughout the organization so that no matter where you go, you see people executing on that vision. And healthy means making a more healthy, functional, cohesive, open and honest, fun-loving team, because a lot of teams, frankly, aren't. Now, from there, we find as goes the leadership team, so goes the rest of the organization. Ultimately, you get to a point where everybody in your organization is 100% on the same page with your vision, executing on that vision with discipline and accountability, and working together as a healthy, functional, cohesive group of people who actually enjoy spending time together. I've seen it happen. It happened in my own business, I believe. Everything I'm going to share with you today was created by a lifelong entrepreneur by the name of Gino Wickman. This isn't something that I just invented out of thin air. There's over 250,000 companies globally running on EOS tools. Just a set of simple, real-world, practical tools, timeless concepts that have been around for 100 years and are going to be around for 1,000 more. EOS, or the Entrepreneurial Operating System, isn't software. It's a management operating system that maximizes human energy, delivering better results for businesses and better lives for the people who run them. You're not going to find any pixie dust, magic pills, unicorns, or silver bullets in EOS. Just real applied, practicable tools. Okay. Now, the kinds of organizations I generally work with are entrepreneurial. They're between 5 and 500 employees. Their owners and leaders are growth oriented and open-minded. They're willing to be open and honest and vulnerable with themselves and the people around them. They're more afraid of the status quo than they are of change. Okay. So that's about EOS. Now, a little bit, real quick background on me. Hi, I'm James Wisdom. I grew up in an entrepreneurial household. I watched as my mom grew a thriving financial business from 1,000 cold calls on our plaid living room couch. I went on to school and got involved working first in e-commerce and digital marketing, and I spent about 15 years with the Fortune 100, QVC, Accenture, Aflac, Randstad. I loved making great marketing with those organizations. I loved it. I loved unlocking the potential of the teams that I was working with. I loved unlocking the potential of my employees. I won lots of awards. That was great. I didn't so much love the big bureaucratic nature of those organizations, right? So I decided I was going to be a smart guy a couple of years into this, or about 15 years into it, and said, I'm going to open my own marketing firm and work with smaller, more entrepreneurial organizations that won't have those big bureaucratic problems that those big companies have. And so I started my own firm, and I started working with those organizations and discovered that, in fact, they actually have exactly the same problems, or they have worse problems in some cases. But what was really sort of a painful realization for me was about a year and a half or 2 years in, I started noticing that I was having those same problems in my organization. I was struggling in my organization. Um, and that was tough because I'd always been a fixer, right? I'd always been a great fixer of other people's problems, but I couldn't really be objective with my own problems. But I was working 24/7. I wasn't enjoying the work so much anymore. And one day I was complaining to somebody about my business. I don't know if you guys do this. I was complaining to somebody about my business, and they said, "Oh, you should check out Traction and EOS." And I said, "Okay, great." And of course, I didn't do it. And then about 3 weeks later, I was complaining to somebody else about my business, and they said, "Oh, you should check out Traction and EOS." And I said, "Okay, fine. Maybe the universe is sending me a message." I checked it out, loved the framework, said, "You know what? I'm going to do it." I did it. Over the next 3 years, I tripled my revenues and eventually sold my business. And when I went through that process, I had a midlife crisis or midlife epiphany because there was no sports car involved. But I realized that what I really care about is unlocking the potential of other people. So I decided I was going to be, after I sold my business, I was going to become an EOS implementer. And that's why you find me here today with you. I sincerely want to help you run a better business and live a better life because it worked for me. Okay. That's a little bit about me. Let me know if you want anything else. Oh, I'm a karaoke novice. Just tell my family all about that. I sound terrible. Anyway, let's get into the tools. This is going to provide some context for the annual planning that we're going to do. Now, the first best way for me to illustrate that is with a model that has your business at the center of it. Now, this model stems from a discovery that all entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurial leaders tend to wrestle with about 136 issues simultaneously. Now I'm going to share my screen here, so give me 1 second, technology and all. And so you have a visual, a visual cue here for what we're talking about. Here we go. All right, there we go. As I said, all entrepreneurial leaders tend to struggle with about 136 issues simultaneously. And that discovery tells us that to the extent that you can strengthen the 6 key components of your business, those issues just tend to fall into place because they're just truly symptoms of the root cause. And so when I'm talking about the journey, it's a journey to strengthen the 6 key components of your business. All right. Now I'm going to share these with you very quickly. So here we go. Buckle up. I'm going to run through these really fast. Now, the first key component of your business, of any business, is the vision component, right? The vision component is just getting everybody 100% on the same page with where the business is going and how they're going to get there. Now, there's 2 specific tools that are within the vision component. We're going to be focusing on the first one today, but we're going to be skipping through the rest. Okay, we're just focusing on your annual plan. We're going to use those 8 questions to get your vision and plan back on track, or excuse me, on the right track. Now, each of the 6 key components has 2 tools or disciplines that help you understand how we strengthen each of the 6 key components, but we'll save that deep dive for another time. And as I said, I'm available. Now, the second key component is the people component. Very simply, and no surprises here, you can't achieve a great vision without great people. And the truth is, every organization defines great people differently. So when we spend more time on the tools and disciplines, we really get to the heart of what makes for great people in your unique organization. Okay. The next key component, or the third key component, is the data component. This is running your business on facts, figures, and objective information, right? Rather than feelings, egos, and subjective emotions that often drive decision making in entrepreneurial organizations. Now, what happens and what we've realized is that when you strengthen the vision, people, and data components in your organization, is that everything becomes transparent and crystal clear. All the impurities, imperfections, challenges, and obstacles just jump right out at you, but also ideas and opportunities that you will want to take advantage of. That leads us to the 4th key component, the issues component. Strengthening the issues component is just getting really good at solving your issues as they arise. You can't achieve success if you're not great at setting your issues up as they happen and knocking them down and making them go away forever so they don't keep coming back again and again and again, right? I certainly have experienced that. The 5th key component is the process component. Strengthening the process component is just getting all of the most important stuff in your business done the right and best way every time. Creates consistency and scalability in your business, makes it easier to manage, more profitable, and frankly, more fun. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think process is sexy. The 6th key component is the traction component. Traction is about bringing your vision down to the ground and executing on that vision day in and day out. Right? There's no coincidence that vision's at the top of the model and traction's at the bottom. If you can't bring your vision down to the ground and execute on it well, vision without traction is hallucination, okay? In the future, we'll talk about the 2 tools and disciplines we use to strengthen the traction component and help you get more of what you want from your business. But these are the 6 key components, that make up the EOS model. As I said, EOS is just a simple, proven way of harmonizing and orchestrating all the moving parts of your business to help you run a better business and, frankly, live a better life. Now, the tool we're going to be using today is the Vision Traction Organizer, or VTO. It's based on the 8 questions I've got circled here. The VTO is a simple, powerful tool that anyone can use. Please use this tool. It's very powerful and will help you crystallize the vision for your company. You can download the VTO template here with this QR code or this short link. Feel free to do so right now. I'll give you 10 or 15 seconds to capture that. If you want to send it to your printer, great. If you don't, that's okay too. You can just write the things down on a piece of scrap paper and you'll come out with the work that you need to get started and headed in the right direction, okay? But if you want to hit the QR code, by all means, feel free to do so. All right, I'm just going to give you a few seconds. For those of you that want to print it, going to take a quick breath, a little sip of water. Okay. Now we're going to dive into the VTO. So just follow along with me. This is the VTO, and each of the 8 questions that I mentioned before are indicated there in the orange areas. Okay, what are the 8 questions? They are, what are your core values? What's your core focus? What's your 10-year target? What's your marketing strategy? What's your 3-year picture? Your 1-year plan? Your quarterly goals or rocks, your priorities, and your issues list. Okay, I'm going to walk you through each one of these in order to get your annual plan done. I hope you're ready, so buckle up. I'm gonna run through some of these pretty fast, but I'm gonna ask you to do some work along the way, okay? I hope you're with me. All right, now you're probably familiar with the term core values, right? Core values are just an essential set of guiding characteristics that define who you are at the core and what you want from the culture of your unique organization. Now, when I work with clients, I take them through a discovery exercise to help them discover the true core values of their unique organization. Then later in the people component, I explain to clients exactly how we're going to use their core values to attract great people to their organization, people that fit your culture, the kind of people you want to be surrounded with, and repel people that aren't a great fit for your culture, right? Different businesses, different cultures, different types of people, right? Some mesh, some don't. Core values are a way for you to define those. That's core values. Now, after the session today, take some time to define the core values for your organization. It's who you are, right? Our core values are critically important to define who you are at the core and what you want from the culture of your organization. It helps you find the right people, the people you want to surround yourself with, and repel the people that you don't. Now, if you're not sure how to define your core values, not to worry, I have you covered. I did a webinar a couple of months ago called How to Get the Right People in the Right Seats, where I go through an exercise to identify your unique core values. How much does it cost? It's free. It's nothing. Just go to my website, jameswisdom.com, scroll to the very bottom, and it's down there. No sign up required. I urge you to take the time to get clear on core values, but not right this second. Let's move on. We're talking about annual planning today. Okay. Now, the second question on the VTO is, what's your core focus? The core focus is the sweet spot for your organization. It's been called a million things in the history of business. A lot of people call it vision statement. Excuse me. Some people call it mission statement. Stephen Covey calls it voice. Jim Collins calls it hedgehog concept. We call it core focus because it comes from your core. Now, once it's clearly defined and articulated, the trick is to stay laser focused within that core focus so that you're always working within your sweet spot. Again, take the time after our session to define your core focus. What you do, what do you do in your business, your purpose, your cause, or your passion, and why you do what you do, pardon me, and what are you best at? What's your niche? Okay, here's your challenge. Keep it to no more than 7 words. If you can keep it to a sentence, you've succeeded. Okay, so what's your purpose, cause, or passion, which is why you do what you do, and your niche, what you do. Okay. Next, what is your 10-year target? Now, this is just a long-range, big goal for your business. The time frame is flexible, anything from 5 to 30 years out. Now, this is where we're really going to start on your annual plan. This is a clearly articulated, simple, #1 business goal for your organization. Gets everyone on the same page with where you're going long-term. 10-year target is a discipline around goal setting, right? You choose the time frame, you choose the goal, but choose your goal wisely because you'll probably get it, okay? The important thing here is to know your end game, because if you don't know your end game, if you don't know your destination, how are you going to reach it? Each of you needs to commit to something, to put it out there in the universe, okay? Now, earlier, I asked us at the beginning of the call, what do you want from your business, right? I asked at the beginning of the call twice. Okay, so take whatever you wrote. Is this your 10-year target? If it's not, rework it. Take the time right now while I'm talking so that it is. If you haven't written anything down yet, start writing now. Put something down. I'm going to give some more prompts and some suggestions, but start writing and start tweaking right now. I want to hear pencils scratching on papers through the Zoom. I want to hear iPads scribbling away. Okay. Now don't get hung up on 10 years. It's okay if it's 5. It's okay if it's 30. Again, this is the number one big goal of your business for the distant future. The time frame is up to you. Okay. Now imagine with me, you're on a crew cutting a road through a dense forest, doing all that hard work, and you know you're going somewhere. But if you don't know where, you're going to be weaving around and going in circles, right? The 10-year target is the destination for that. And this planning process, what we're doing right now, is the map and the survey to get you there in the straightest line possible, right? Does that make sense? Is your 10-year target starting to hopefully become clear? I hope so. Excuse me. So what big goal would be motivating for your whole organization, right? What do you want to be able to say about your company? What would make you really proud if you could accomplish it or become it? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be able to say that you built or helped to build? What would energize and motivate your employees and your team? The 10-year target should be creating something for everyone to be a part of, should inspire. Okay. Now we might get off the bus before the destination. Saying 10 years, that's okay. If you get off at 6 years, if you get off at 3, that's fine. But you need to have a destination. Okay. What is it that we're trying to achieve that will make us proud, feel like we're successful? Now, once your 10-year target is clear, you almost magnetize yourself to that goal. Solutions, answers for reaching that goal will emerge, but only if you put it out there, only if you write it down, only if you communicate it. A clearly articulated, simple, number one business goal for your organization. Now, I'm going to give you 1 minute, literally 1 minute, to put the finishing touches on before I move on. Okay? So you're going to have a minute of silence, write down that one sentence, that 1-year goal. And I'm gonna read some examples after I have this pause. 1 minute. All right, 15 seconds. Put your finishing touches, then I'm gonna give some examples. All right, good. So that's your minute. Here's 3 examples that I just want to put out there to get you thinking and maybe make some tweaks here. 2 of them are okay. 1 of them I love. You can try to guess which one. I'm going to tell you which one. So the first one is 3,000 design projects complete with a 4.5-star reputation, operating in 5 states, and employee NPS over 30. Yes, that's a sentence. It's got a bunch of commas. That's a little bit much, right? But still, you can see that they're focused, right? Here's another example. $10 million in annual revenue, 3 weeks of vacation, 10% to philanthropy, 3 nationally recognized design awards. Okay. That's their 10-year target. And the third one, which is my favorite, I do pro bono for a nonprofit that helps kids. And theirs is really simple. Touch the lives of 1 million kids, right? So we know that our goal is to touch the lives of those kids in a positive way. And that's all that we're focused on. So if you can get it that simple, I applaud you. Stay focused. Try to get as narrow and simple as you possibly can. Okay. All right. So that's your 10-year target. That's your destination. That's where we're heading. We're going to move on now. Okay. Now, once your 10-year target is crystal clear, we move on to question number 4, which is your marketing strategy. Now, if the 10-year target is where you're going, the marketing strategy is how am I going to actually get there? right? So the marketing strategy is simply designed to get you and your team all on the same page with who you should talk to and what you should say to get the biggest return on your investment in precious sales and marketing energy. There's 4 parts to the marketing strategy: your target market, your 3 uniques, your proven process, your guarantee. Okay? Now I'm going to go through these really quickly one at a time. The target market is getting everyone to agree on the ideal prospect, the demographic, geographic, and psychographic profile of the kinds of people or companies that you should be laser focused on proactively selling and marketing to, right? A little more detail on each. First, your geographic attributes. Now, while we'd love to take on the entire planet and take over the entire planet, we have to recognize that we only have capacity to serve perhaps a small part of it. What part do you want to serve? 3 hours away, 15 minutes, or 50 miles? Could you serve the entire US or even the world? Right? You have to decide that. Now, demographic. Which customers will appreciate you the most? Who has the need and the money they can spend on your services? Families, empty nesters? Are they in certain types of neighborhoods? If you're B2B, which types of companies do you want to serve? Does industry segment matter? Last, psychographic. You want customers who will work well with you. What does your ideal customer value from their provider? Is it quality, craftsmanship, stewardship, price, or something else? How do they think? What do they value? Okay, you want to make sure that you know that. And once that's clear, the rest of the marketing strategy is just your message to those ideal prospects. The 3 uniques are just your 3 unique differentiating characteristics. 3 things about your organization that make you different and better than the competition, set you apart. You might have 1 or 2 things in common with your competition. That's okay. But what combination of 3 things makes you truly unique so you can stand out? A proven process is a 1-page visual illustration of the way you take care of your customers from the minute they start thinking about doing business with you to the time they're long-time satisfied business partners of yours. The guarantee is just a pledge or promise that reduces the fear of adoption and eliminates objections that you might face in the sales and marketing process. Now, after our session today, your to-do is to get with your team and get 100% on the same page with your marketing strategy. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to help. I love seeing people succeed. Now, remember, the marketing strategy is just who you should talk to and what you should say to get the biggest return on your investment in your precious sales and marketing energy. Okay? Now, once you're all 100% on the same page with your core values, your core focus, your 10-year target, and your marketing strategy, you'll know who you are at the core. You'll know what you love to do and you do best with your core focus. You'll know where you're going in the long term with your 10-year target, and you'll know how you're going to get there with the marketing strategy. We then crystallize the vision for the organization and bring it down to the ground and start making it real with your 3-year picture. Okay? Now, this is not a detailed 3 to 5 year strategic planning process we're going to go through. Okay. Wherever you're taking notes, write down the date of January 21st, 2028. Okay. All we're trying to do is get every member of your team to visualize exactly what this company needs to look like 3 short years from now. Because if you can all see the same thing in your mind's eye, the chance that you're going to achieve that vision becomes significantly higher. We start by quickly defining your revenue, profits, and measurables. What does your company need to achieve 3 years from now to lay the foundation for your 10-year target? Each of you write down a revenue or profit goal to be on the right track to your 10-year target. No ranges, just one number. It's okay if you're not sure, you can go back and edit it, but just take a second. I'm going to pause here. Take a second and write down a revenue and a profit and a measurable goal for 3 years from now, right? Take that 10-year target and say, what does it look like 3 short years from now, right? For the measurable, pick the one thing that if you were to communicate it to your people would show them scope and size for the organization. Tie it back to that 10-year target. Remember the 1,000,000 kids? Maybe the 3-year target is 300,000 kids. We want people to say, holy cow, we're going to have that many of those? Maybe the number of clients, the number of completed projects, the number of houses you built or users on your platform, something that is compelling. Go ahead and write that down now. You don't have to necessarily say how many, but what that measurable is going to be. Then you'll see 5 to 15 bullet points under the question, what does it look like? This is where we want to paint a vivid picture of what your organization needs to look like 3 short years from now on the way to achieving your vision. The vision's probably in your head. The 3-year picture forces you to get it out of your head and on paper so that you can communicate it, so you can get everybody seeing the same vision that's up here. Okay, start writing now, but I'm going to give you some prompts. Start writing down, what does it look like? But if you're looking for an inspiring picture to move toward, think about what would be motivating for the whole organization. What do you want to be able to say about the company? What would it make you really proud if you could accomplish it or become it in the next 3 years? What do you want to be able to say you built or helped build? Describe your role in the organization 3 years from now. How will you be spending your time? How about your team? What kind of marketing and sales efforts will be in play? New locations, new products, new services, new clients, new customers, new partners. Just a clear picture that you can see in your mind's eye. Come up with 3 to 5 bullets today. Okay. Now, one of them I'd like to request is I'd like you to write down a number and put the right people in the right seats next to it. Okay. Which is how many people you're going to have on your team in 3 years. So let's say that's 45 or even 5. That's fine too. But whatever that number is, write that number down and put right people, right seats next to it. Okay. How many people must you have or will you have, which you predict that you're going to have 3 years from now, 3 short years from now? 3 years happens faster than you expect. Then write it down. Okay. See what it looks like. Now here's some more ideas. What about how many locations you've got, items sold? Just 3 to 5 ideas today. Geographies, awards that you may have received, right? New departments in your business that you think you're going to need. And then don't forget to write down how many people you're going to have on the team. How many people are going to be the right people in the right seats on your team. Okay. Now I'm going to pause for another minute. I'm going to let you write down what that looks like. Write down everything you can think of that's going to describe what your business is going to look like 3 short years from now. And then we will continue. And I'll read an example. Okay. "30 seconds. "15 seconds. Okay, great. I hope you've written some down. I'm going to give you a couple more that might spark some ideas, and then we're going to move on to the 1-year plan. So all processes and systems, these are items. What does it look like? All of our processes and systems documented and followed by all. 12 company vehicles for sales and technicians. Our marketing and sales flywheel fully implemented and generated consistent, predictable business flow. 3 right people, right seats. 6 right people, right seats. 2 marketing hires for lead gen, 1 full-time sales rep, 3 new hires as designers. Annual employee retreat with fun stuff like go-karts. That sounds good to me. Expansion location planned. Okay, they know they're going to need an expansion location. Okay, so hopefully those spurred some ideas, but it doesn't have to be perfect, but just start to take that vision, give it some shape for what it's going to look like 3 short years from now on that way to that 10-year target. Okay, so here we go. We're going to move on to the 1-year plan. I'm looking for my mouse because I got to click the slide. You know, I'm not the most technically proficient person in the world. So once this 3-year picture is crystal clear, there's 2 big benefits, right? Is that when you can all see the same 3-year picture in your mind's eye, the chances are that you're going to achieve it are so much higher. Okay. It also sets you up for great 1-year planning. It acts as a bridge between this moment right now and your 10-year target. Okay, so this is the traction side of the document that we're looking at right now. We're going to really bring this vision down to the ground and prioritize and plan next. Okay, so the next question, question number 6, is what is your 1-year plan? The next thing we do is we define your 1-year plan. Okay, so write down the date 1/21/26. And you'll notice that we use the same predictions here: revenue, profit, and measurable. So go ahead and, using your 3-year picture numbers, set your revenue, profit, and measurable goals for your 1-year plan. Now ask yourself, what are we going to achieve this year or next year to lay the foundation for achieving your vision? Okay, I'll give you a moment. What are we going to achieve this year or next year, the coming year, to lay the foundation for achieving this vision? All right. What do we need to achieve? Now we need to create 3 to 7 priorities, right? So when we say, what do we need to achieve? That's a big question, right? There's probably technology, there's probably people, location, operations, financial considerations to be made. Who's going to be on the team, right? What kind of partnerships are we going to have? Like, there's lots of questions there. What do we need to achieve in the next year? But what I need you to do is, as a leader, is to filter all those ideas that are in your head right now about, oh, well, I need to achieve 100 things the next year. Okay, what are the 3 to 7 priorities, the 3 to 7 most important things, the goals for the year? Okay, now we focus on 3 to 7 goals, not 37, right? Because when everything is important, nothing's important, and nothing gets done. Everybody gets spread so thin, they get frustrated, the work doesn't actually get done, and you find yourself at the end of the year and you say, well, we tried to do 100 things and we got 100 things 5% of the way done, and you're miserable. What we're saying is, take that time and focus on 3 to 7 things and actually knock them out of the park. Okay, one of the phrases we use a lot when implementing EOS is less is more. Okay, so 3 is utopia. If you can get your 1-year plan goals down to 3, awesome. Great job. That's what we want. The idea is to decide with the 3 to 7 most important things that we must get done in the next year. Okay, now hopefully closer to 3. And so what I want you to do is start writing those down. But I want to get your gears turning as you're writing. I just want you to come up with 3 for today. Now they must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, or SMART. You've heard that phrase before. It must be a SMART goal, which is to say that the easiest way to say whether it's smart or whether it's not smart is, if at the end, will you know when it's actually done, or will you go, oh, I'm not really sure if I completed that goal? Because if it's the latter, if you're not really sure, then it's not smart, and you got to work on making it smart. Okay, so that a month from now, and in March, and in April, and November, and next January, you'll be able to go back and say, did we achieve this goal? Yes or no? And if it's smart, you'll be able to clearly say yes or no. If it's not, you'll be confused and unfulfilled. And we don't want that to happen. Okay, you want to have absolute certainty as to whether it was done or not done. Okay, so to restate it, to accomplish that 3-year picture that you just painted, okay, what are the 3 to 7 most important things your company must get done to make that 3-year picture a reality? All right. So again, I'm going to give you another minute to filter through all those goals that are in your head and get to the ones that are the 3 to 7 that are most important. And then I'm going to read out an example. "30 seconds. "15. Okay, great. Now let's do an example. All right. 1-year plan. Okay. Appear at 4 target market conferences, doubling the last year's goal. Close 5 more big deals. Establish 3 more key partners. Finish the website. Implement a CRM system and roll it out and have it fully adopted by the team. Okay. That's simple, right? That's actually a pretty tough 1 year. There's a lot going on in that, but with the right team, they might be able to achieve it. Again, we're trying to have no more than 7, ideally 3 goals for the year. Okay. Now, we've now crystallized and made predictions for what the revenue, profit, and measurables need to be for this year. We've set 3 to 7 clear aligned goals. Now we move to the next section of the VTO. We call these rocks. Okay. So go ahead and write 4/21/26 in your notes. These are 90 days from now, 3 months from now, or pick the end of the next calendar quarter if you wish, March 31st. If you want to sync up with calendar quarters, that's really up to you. Now, rocks are just 90-day business priorities, getting us all 100% on the same page with what's most important over the next 90 days, creating a 90-day world for the organization. Now, just like with the 3-year picture and the 1-year plan, we start by predicting revenue, profit, and measurables. So take a moment, divide your annual numbers by 4 as a general starting point, napkin math. Take your annual numbers, divide them by 4 as a starting point. Okay? I'm just going to give you a few seconds to do that. Not a full minute. My favorite karaoke song is Friends in Low Places. Everybody seems to like that one. Gets the whole room going with, the Oasis bit. But anyway, you've done your math. Then we're going to identify 3 to 7 priorities for the company over the next 90 days. Now, these are the 3 to 7 most important things that you must get done in your organization in the next 90 days. Okay, so think of it this way. What do you need to get done in the next 90 days in order to be on track for your 1-year goals, and in order to be on track for your 3-year picture, and on track for your 10-year target? What are those 3 to 7 most important things? Okay, write them down. Start writing now. Now, as you're doing this, write down the initials for the person who's responsible for each rock in your company. They don't need to do 100% of the work, and I hope they're not all your initials, right? But they just need to be the quarterback, the one responsible for the rock getting done, setting the meetings, kicking tail, taking names, okay? They're not necessarily going to do all the work, but they're the person that's as close to the work as possible, that understands the work, and can be the person that make sure that they're going to get that work done day in and day out, and make sure that you actually hit those rocks at the end of the quarter. Okay. Remember, 3 to 7 priorities for the next 90 days. The most important things that must get done to be on track for your 1-year plan. Right. So if you're looking at your 1-year plan and your rocks don't really match, there's not consistency there, you might want to say, what's going on there? Because if it's important for your 1-year goals, it should be important. There should be activities that you should be doing right now and in the next 90 days in order to realize those 1-year goals. Okay. Again, make sure that they're smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound, right? The simplest way, again, to explain that is that, will you know when it's done, right? So, saying something that will be better, that doesn't count. You can't say better because, what is better? It's, cutting the crust off of bread. Is that better? I don't know. But if you say that you're going to cut all the crust off, all the breads for every sandwich you make in your business, then okay, you either did that or you didn't, right? It's clear, right? I don't know why I brought up that whole bread comparison. I never did that before. Anyway, and don't forget to assign an owner, the person that's the who in that right-hand column on the slide. Who is making sure that this rock gets done by that date? Okay. Now, maybe you have a rock that's bigger than you can get done by the deadline. That's okay. Carve off a piece that you can get done by that 3-month deadline. Okay. And that's your rock. That's your priority. It's fine if you set what we call a milestone rock. Just remember when you sit and review your rocks at that future date that you take the next piece in the next quarter, if that still makes sense. Okay. Sometimes you have something that, we know it's going to take 6 months. That's okay. Let's just make a chunk that's clear for the first 3 months and a chunk that's clear for the next 3 months. And that's what we're going to focus on. Okay. Now you've got your rocks. Now now I'm going to read off some examples here. Keep working on these while I'm talking. You're going to have 2 right people in the right seats. Now, those two right people in the right seats, maybe you've got challenges with some of the folks on your team. Okay, so write down, hey, we're going to get those challenges resolved, whatever that looks like, right? That might be a completely new role. That might be coaching somebody so that they can better fulfill the responsibilities of that role. Or it might be asking someone to leave the organization that isn't a cultural fit or isn't able to fulfill in their responsibilities. But it's okay to write those down. How many right people, right seats issues do you need to solve in the next 90 days in order to be on track for your 1-year goal? Here's another example. Create the sales process in Pipedrive. Identify and plan out conferences for 2026. Remember in the annual goal, I talked about conferences, about a certain number of conferences. Well, right now we got to plan out what those conferences are, which ones we want to go to, what it's going to cost, hotels, all that other good stuff. So identify and plan that. Have an actual plan written down. This is what we're going to do in 26. Design and complete the website sitemap, right? So if your 1-year goal is to have a brand new website, maybe getting the sitemap is what you're going to get done in the next quarter in order to achieve that. Create a 2026 marketing plan and roll out the first quarter. So create the plan and roll out the first phase of it in Q1. Okay, so those are just some example rocks. I hope that that's helpful. Okay, that's rocks. And again, rocks are just your big, important 90-day business priorities. 3 to 7 rocks. You assign them to the right people in the organization to make sure that they get done. Okay, these create discipline, focus, and accountability so you're executing on your vision every 90 days. Okay, now last up, what's your issues list? Okay, we compile as we're going through this process, and as you've been writing these down, you've probably been doing this. I bet you've been writing some stuff down on this side. Oh, I got to talk to Bob. Oh, and this. Oh, and that. That might be your issues list. You've been thinking about a million other things, maybe making notes on things you need to get done someday. You need to get these things done someday, but maybe they're not in the next quarter or the year, right? Now is the opportunity to get those issues out of your head and into your issues list so they're not camping out in your brain and taking your focus away from your rocks, right? So take a moment to write those down, write the word issues at the top. It's therapeutic. Bare your soul. Nobody's going to see it. What are your biggest opportunities? What are your biggest issues, your biggest concerns, your biggest frustrations? What are the biggest ideas that you can capitalize on? Write them down. Get them out of your head. You will feel better. You'll probably sleep better tonight if you do what I'm asking you to do right now. Remember, your issues are just where you store the things that you want to address, but not now. You're making a conscious choice not to deal with these right now. You've got bigger fish to fry, more important fish to fry. They're not for now, they're for the future. And if you're sitting here thinking, I don't have any issues, that's an issue. Okay, because every business leader, every business owner's got issues. Okay. Now that's our strategic and simplified approach to strategic planning. Those are the 8 questions, and that's your VTO, and that's your annual plan. Now, as we wrap up this tool, I urge you to take whatever you have completed here. I'm going to turn off my screen share. Wait, hold on. Stop share. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to urge you to take everything that you've written down, take the time to revise and finesse it, and give it a good polish, but not too much. Okay, because then I want you to get together with your team and all get on the same page and agree on the answers to these 8 questions. Okay, you don't want to just be dictating this to them, right? This is important. Don't just dictate this to them. Have a conversation, make it interactive, be open-minded, get them all together in a room, right? Your leadership team, whatever that looks like. And don't leave that room until you're 100% in agreement. Discuss, debate, be open and honest with one another, but you must agree, right? And if there's someone that just won't, they won't participate, they won't contribute, they won't debate, they might not belong on your leadership team. They might be holding you back. But whatever happens, this plan won't work. And I reiterate this plan won't work unless there's 100% agreement on your leadership team with the answers to these questions, right? And it's okay to have that debate, right? So if you come in and you say, well, I think that we're going to have $50 million in revenue, but we're not going to allocate any resources to marketing, the marketing person is justified to say, hey, wait a second, how's that going to work, right? It's important that you have those conversations ahead of time, that you plan that, you co-create, you co-author that together so that everybody understands what their responsibilities are and they understand what they need to fulfill on, okay? So that's it for the VTO. And that's the beginning of your annual plan. I know this went fast and your head is probably swimming. That's normal and that's good. And it means that you're trying. If you've just been sitting here for the last, I don't know, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and just been listening to me and not doing any work, okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, but be sure to act, for those of you that are really committed and really want to try, okay, half of these challenges, half of this challenge is just getting all those ideas out of your head and on paper. So you and your team can see them, understand them, talk about them, and get clear on them so that they can go out and actually do them, right? Whew. What a great session. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm really pleased to have met you today. If you have any questions on anything that we've covered, please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You've got my information. I'm easy to find. Now, I want to ask something of you in closing here today. I love helping entrepreneurial companies and working with motivated people who are ready to commit to grow their business and live a better life. Seen the results of what I do again and again and again. And it's extraordinary. It's mind-blowing. I love doing it. And that's why I'm doing this workshop right now, because I like helping business people. Okay. Now, I would appreciate it if you would look out for family, friends, fellow business owners, peer group members that need help and introduce them to me. I'm happy to come and meet with a peer group and teach them about EOS, about data, about planning, about people, whatever topic you're interested in, I'm here to help. Okay. And I'd also like feedback on this session, how it could be better. If you have comments, please feel free to email me or message me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to take your feedback. I'd like to frankly get better every time. And I may ask you to jump on a feedback call to learn more about your feedback so I can provide a better experience in the future. And again, if you have any questions, reach out. I love helping and meeting new people. And last up, can't forget, thanks again so much to Donna and the NJBIA for hosting and facilitating this session. I couldn't have done it without her. She's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone again for joining. I know my head is spinning, but what such great information for the beginning of the year. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly at michelle@c3workplace.com. We'll make sure that your questions get answered, and sign up and register for the next event in February. Again, thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of your day.